Lumos. Today I wanted to make a slightly different kind of video. This one is a little journey of my Harry Potter fandom, the path that led me from reading the books to where I am today. We will take a short look at this nifty pop-up book I have, and then a few pictures I have taken from around the Universal Studios parks at the Harry Potter themed lands, maybe a little bit of my mobile game that I play, and just an overview of why I like the fandom and continue to look forward to Harry Potter content to this day. I started as a target market child demographic for the novels. I was a young reader, pretty avid, similar age to Harry, albeit his age always lapsed a few years to when the books were released. I never attended the midnight book releases since I had a pretty early bedtime, but my grandmother would get the books on day one, read it in all about a day or two, give it to my mom, who would read it in another day or two, and then hand it off to me. It took me about a week or sometimes two to get through the longer books. And this continued until I was in college, where I reread all of the books before the final one was released. So I was fortunate enough not to be spoiled that Snape killed Dumbledore, since I had already read the books by the time that meme was going around the internet. As for the movies, I sorta gave up after the fourth film, since that book was my favorite, and it was at that time I really started to notice that they had cut a lot of content out from the books. And that made the books much more memorable for me. And to this day, I still have not seen like 2 or 3 of them, but probably one day I will. It just makes it easier for me not to mix up the canon, being able to recall the events of the books much more easily than the movies. So all in all, I have read the books 3 times, the third time being I read them out loud to my wife, who had never read them before, and although she did read a few chapters herself. Each book we made a bingo card with all the sorts of funny things or tropes that would happen to Harry and his friends in the school, like what house points being deducted, or if Harry gets hurt, or someone gets detention, stuff like that. It was fun to make the lists before reading the book and checking them off each time they happened. As for the theme parks, I did not initially go when they first opened. I had been to Universal Studios a few times, but before the Islands of Adventure, like Merlinwood and Lost Continent areas, got converted. That was my favorite section of the theme park, since Dueling Dragons was my favorite roller coaster, and I was able to ride it back to back to back many times on my 3 trips there. And upon hearing that Harry Potter was coming and they were saving the ride, I was initially pretty satisfied, but also they eventually got rid of it, which was okay since it was pretty old and probably reaching the end of its lifespan. And it wasn't even running its dueling coaster configuration. And Hagrid's is a satisfactory replacement, I guess, although the 80 to 90 minute queue time is pretty long most days, so it's kind of tough to get on. I have now visited both the Harry Potter lands a handful of times and hope to visit the Parisian-themed one, the new one in Epic Universe, soon. And I enjoy the theme parks quite a bit. I favor Diagon Alley over Hogsmeade, since Diagon Alley has more space for the people to fan out, and Hogsmeade can get quite a bit cramped in the streets, especially if there's a long line for butterbeer that really clogs up the middle alleyway. I don't really like butterbeer, and I prefer the Dragon Scale beer, the actual beer, to the sweet treat. I like Forbidden Journey and Escape from Gringotts okay enough. And if you have a chance to rope drop these rides, you can sometimes get on them 2 or 3 times in a row without much wait. That's pretty nice. The train is also okay if you can get on it early. I don't know if it's really worth waiting an hour for, unless it's your only chance to go and see it. Otherwise, try to get on it when it's under 30 minutes, usually right when the park opens, or sometimes when the park's about to close. As for the restaurants, I prefer the Leaky Cauldron to the 3 Broomsticks. The stools that you sit on at the 3 Broomsticks are pretty low to the ground and kind of uncomfortable for me, and I prefer the meal offerings at the Leaky Cauldron. I usually get the bangers and mash, although the fish and chips are pretty decent too. Now, most people are curious when talking about Harry Potter which house you are in, where you got sorted to, and if you've gotten this far, pause the video and leave a comment as to guess which house I am in the comments section. Okay, time for the big reveal. I am a Ravenclaw. And really, I always have been. Each test I take online, each quiz I find, and even on the Pottermore official house placement quiz, I have been sorted into Ravenclaw. My Patronus is a sloth, which isn't an official Pottermore option, but that's my Patronus regardless. And I have a few wands for various tasks, like a dueling wand, a wand I use for charms and transfigurations, and various wands to match my outfits for like formal events or dances or going out on the town, and a wand for my official wizarding job as an unspeakable at the Ministry of Magic. Anyway, I have played a few of the Wizarding World themed video games, like recently Hogwarts Legacy, which came out on console and PC, and it was fun enough, although it was pretty easy to defeat most of the enemies once I ranked up Herbology 3 and leveled up all the plants, and just using the plants took everything out with relative ease. But I really like the Hogwarts Mystery mobile game, and I have been slow rolling my 7th year just because I don't want it to end. I really like collecting a lot of the magical creatures and all the different spells and each of the little side events and mini chapters. And some of the games like the dueling event and the quizzes, they really give you a lot of deep Harry Potter and Wizarding World lore. Beyond the games, I do have a small collection of some of the old Harry Potter trading cards, like the old tabletop trading card game they made, and some of the movie cards, and some unopened packs, but nothing that's really super impressive. I do have a few of the toys, mostly opened and well-loved. A few of them still in their packaging, but I don't really collect a ton of the merchandise. And so that's me and my Harry Potter Wizarding World journey. I know there is a TV show in the works that I might give a shot, but really it's the books and the theme parks and some of the games that really attract me to this fandom. So, what got you into Harry Potter? What about the fandom keeps you entertained and looking for more content? Leave some comments in the comment section below, and bye for now, Nox.